The voice in my head, hey, it's telling me that I should stay in my bed cause it's 2 in the night. Woo! Why can't I sleep when it's 2 in the night?
Hey everyone, it's your girl Vimbo. I'm back for another Wednesday word, and the word of this week is dauntless. I don't know why I had to say it like that, but I'm just so excited for this week's word. So let's go ahead and pray and get started right away. Dear God, I just want to thank you so much for a chance to come before you, to read your word and think about what it really means to be dauntless or fearless and to rely on you. So I just want to thank you so much for your love and your power and for strengthening us, giving us courage. And I ask you to be with us now as we study your word. In your holy name, amen. All right, so the word of the week, as I said before, is dauntless. And I want to start right away with our verse for the week. Our verse this week is found in 2 Timothy chapter 1, verse 7. For God did not give us a spirit of timidity, but a spirit of power, of love, and self-discipline. In another version it says, for God did not give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of love and of power and of a sound mind. So anyway, I love this verse because it's talking directly to our word this week, which is dauntless. What does it mean to be dauntless? Well, if any of you guys are familiar with a certain movie that featured this type of people, dauntless just means you're brave, you're fearless, you are not scared of anything that is coming your way. I love this definition of bravery I heard just recently, which is bravery is the capacity to perform properly even when you're scared half to death. That is so true. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about fear before I give you guys the 3 tips I have for this week on how to be dauntless. So we all get scared. All right, I'm going to be the first one to admit I consider myself a very fearful person, which is not good. We all get scared at times, whether it's fear of the future, fear of things that are actually happening to us in the process of them happening. Fear is not all bad. Fear actually helps us to stay alive, because if your body is having this response to something, it's kind of like alerting yourself, hey, be afraid, run away. You know, but sometimes fear can inhibit us as adults from doing what we need to do. So I want to talk to you guys today about 3 ways you can face and overcome your fears and be dauntless and extra exciting and whatever all of that entails. All right, so the very first way to be dauntless is by acknowledging the fact that you are afraid. Whew. Let me testify. So many times I've been afraid of things and I've been scared to say I'm afraid or to even acknowledge the fact that I'm thinking I'm afraid, because I feel like that would make me a wimp. So there's some things I'm trying to think of recently, things I've been afraid of. I have a very crippling phobia/fear of dogs, and it's something I've been working on, and I'll talk about that all through the 3 tips. But fear of dogs is one fear that's followed me around. And another fear, I think recently when I went to Zimbabwe on a mission trip this summer, I was very afraid of traveling by myself. That was the first time I had traveled internationally by myself. I've traveled with my family before to Zimbabwe. I've traveled on a mission trip to Honduras before, but I've never been going all the way to, spending 2 days traveling by myself. So that was a very scary experience, okay? So the very first thing you need to do in order to be dauntless is to acknowledge the fact that you are afraid. What are you afraid of? What is it that is actually at the back of your mind and you know it's there and it's actually stressing you out, but you don't even want to face it? Today is the day to face that fear, okay? So bring it to the front of your mind and think about it. And I'm not saying dwell on it, just acknowledge it. And maybe write it down and say, you know what, this is what I'm afraid of. I'm afraid of being rejected in this relationship. Or I'm afraid of God not accepting me. Or I'm afraid of not getting this position. Whatever it is, write down your fear and accept the fact that you are currently afraid, but you don't have to stay afraid. That's the point. You don't have to stay afraid. The very second thing to do to become dauntless and to face those fears with bravery and courage and all that exciting stuff is to break apart your fear. Deconstruct what it is that is making you afraid. So for example, with my fear of dogs, I'm just really afraid of getting bitten by dogs. In my mind, they're an unpredictable creature, and I know it's a phobia because I definitely am not afraid of horses, and horses could definitely do more harm to me than dogs. But I had to sit down for a second and realize, what is it about dogs that I'm afraid of? Well, I never grew up with dogs. The only stories I heard about dogs when I was little was my brother and his friends saying, oh, this dog chased us around the neighborhood and this dog almost bit us. So I never was really I guess, brought up to really see dogs as friendly as all of my friends do. So now as an adult, I'm having to face it and also deconstruct that fear and realize what is it that's making me actually afraid. And I think by deconstructing it, you can separate the true things about your fear and the things that you should actually keep and not get away with, not be dauntless about. Like, don't be stupid, okay? And then you can also separate, okay, but this is just excessive. Like, I know most dogs, the majority of house-trained dogs are not vicious. And most people will not let their dogs out if they would bite you. Or for example, traveling. Most people who travel internationally don't get involved in, don't get abducted. Or everything is not like the movie Taken where you just, travel to London. Like I was traveling to London and somebody takes you from the airport. But it can happen. My third piece of advice for how to be dauntless is to face your fear with God. Go with God and do it. Like, do whatever it is you're afraid of. For me with dogs, I've tried to work up a little bit step by step. So friends who have smaller dogs, I've been starting to let them let their dogs out when I'm at their house. Or, just kind of trying to expose myself and trying to get more comfortable with it. It has taken a very long time. This has been over the last year. I've still been easing into being more comfortable with dogs. But for example, with travel, I was so afraid the night before I left for Zimbabwe to get on that plane by myself and fly out of Chicago. And yet God was with me. I just went, I prayed, and I did it. And really that's what life is all about, is just doing the things that scare us the most. Because if you don't do it, it'll never get done, and you'll just keep being afraid of it. So anyway, that was my video about being dauntless. I really, really love making these videos, and I really, really would love any of your suggestions for what word I should do next, okay? So anyway, leave your comments below about how you are dauntless, how you remain fearless and stay with God and all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next Wednesday. Oh, subscribe, share my videos with your friends, smile at me. Okay, I'm done. All right, see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.
We fight a million battles every day. I don't wanna see us fall. Oh yeah. So we just gotta keep on running. Oh yeah. Even when the day comes calling. Oh yeah. I'm ready to